Hi, Simran. I'm just giving you feedback on your portfolio. I noticed it looks like the previous video was deleted. Don't do that because it's hard for me to know what I've assessed and what I haven't assessed. So I'm going to start at week one and kind of go through this. I noticed week one at your reflection, it's one long paragraph. That's very, very hard to read. And so if you could format that a little bit better, it would just be easier for me to go through this. That said, I really appreciate the level of reflection. Now you could organize that based on this self-grading guide if you wanted to in the future. You've got your Gen AI activity. I looked at that and that's fine. Now your personal project, I assume that's just the reflection at this point. And yeah, it looks like you spent a little bit of time organizing yourself. So not that's kind of like a B plus sort of week. We don't always jump into things. In terms of when you miss class, what you need to do is go to the lesson and watch the video at the top of the at the top, and then complete the task. So that's how you catch up there. And I'll just put that in green just to help you. And then you've put a link there. That's great. That's fine. So that's kind of it's just well, because the not in class contributions weren't there. You're sort of at a B to B plus for that week, I would say. You've got letter grade here, and let's see how you've done this now. You've got your learning expectations. At no point did you put in a grade, so that's um, and I would actually use this guide, not just wing it on your own. In terms of the activity, it looks like, and I think there's going to be a problem here. You've got the reflection there, which is great. Where is the document? So in this case, your comment missing document produced, because there would have been a document produced here. And that's going to be, I'm not going to keep writing that in. That may be a common pattern that you have. In terms of the Gen AI project, again, you've got this week. What do we got here? Your summary, you spent a lot more time on it. I don't see a link to your actual project. It looks like creating a series of storybooks is what you're doing, okay, on diversity, which is certainly a worthy project for sure. And so you weren't there for week two. So again, go to the lesson and complete that. You did put a citation in here. And then, or a possible link. For week three, I think it's going to be the same thing where you reflecting on this, which is fine. That's your letter grade. Well, no, yeah, it's the same thing. You're not giving me a grade here. But you have the Jenny activity, and I suspect it's going to be the same where you've actually used the prompt, but you haven't actually produced the document. So in this case, just maybe I'll just put it in there so you understand what you can remember. Missing document. Okay. And then you've got your Gen AI project here. Again, it's reflection, but no link to the actual document. It looks like you're spending quite a bit of time. Well, only actually not just an hour this week. So overall, sounds like about 5 hours. Here you do have weekly contributions, which is lovely and it's detailed. And then you've got Government of Canada Guide to Using Jennifer. Okay, so you're definitely going to the official guides here. And then your weekly grade, same sort of thing. You haven't really given yourself a grade. But it's a really good reflection. So I really appreciate that, to be honest. Personal projects. Now that's interesting. Again, let's see. Um, yeah, so you're giving me a reflection, but no link to the project. And in this case, again, you are missing the output document. So that's that. And then you do your in-class contributions, and they're solid. You didn't put a link in here. You're supposed to evaluate a resource, I believe. But at this point, I'm just going to leave that. We'll just you've got a week 5 summary here of it's been 3 hours, so you've done a nice summary here of what you've done. Here's a link. I'm wondering if that linked to the actual document. Ooh, that looks like it might be. No, that's. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is, to be honest. So that's the. You got the Gen AI activity, but you're. Oh, now maybe that actually is the activity this week. Oh no, it looks like you're just reflecting on it. Oh, let's see. Is that the activity? Yes, it is the activity. So you actually include the document this time, which is good. But you didn't include, and you're not supposed to do a detailed reflection, but what you learned, that kind of thing. Missing the project altogether. In-class contributions are there, and then you don't need to do. You can get rid of this. I think I probably got rid of it for you. Oh, I should have. Oh no, I didn't. So you're not required to this. So you've got week 6. You've got me to do a summary. You've done, let's see your activity here. Week 6 summary. Uh, okay, that's a summary. That's interesting. It's what you've done, but you missed the actual document. And I don't know. This is now a little bit, I don't know what this is about. Let me just see. This is, and you're giving yourself an A, but I'm not entirely sure. Okay, so here's the problem here. You don't have a consistent format. For every Gen AI activity, there should be a link to the document produced and a reflection. And it's best to just put the reflection on the page as opposed to um, what you with the link. I can live with the link. That's fine. But there has to be a product. So that's missing. That's missing for 4 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks. So that's a problem. I don't see anything with in-class contributions here. So without in-class contributions, you don't need the community contributions. But what you did in class, you're missing that part. And so I don't see how you could get an A at that point. This is kind of all over the place. I don't know where your project is. I don't know what's going on here. So right now, I would say you're at a B level because of the inconsistency of the way you're producing these things. And it should be a simple formula really. A summary, I don't need a summary. Well, you can do a summary if you want, but really, before week 5, it was actually using this self-grading guide. That's what you should be using. You don't need to do that after week 5, but you do need to have the output of the Gen A activity. That's critical. And then some reflection on that. What did you learn? What were the challenges? Those kinds of things. That's important. Nothing is in the personal Gen AI project. I should have a link to the actual project and what's being produced. I should have sort of a weekly update, which you're giving me in some sense, uh, but nothing produced. I never saw a plan for the project, so that's a problem. And then you have your in-class contributions, which for the most part you do have. So you need to tidy those things up.